Take a look at this stretch of tundra in the DeLong Mountains, deep in Alaska's Brooks Range. No trees, no roads, not until you build one, just gravel, permafrost, and a creek that runs slightly rust-colored compared to everything around it. About 90 miles from the nearest town, roughly 150 kilometers north of the Arctic Circle. Beneath this exact creek sits one of the richest zinc deposits ever found anywhere on Earth. Right now, in 2026, it supplies roughly 5% of the entire world's zinc. That's not even the craziest part. The craziest part is how it gets that zinc out. For most of the year, this mine is completely frozen shut. Every single ton it produces has to leave through a window of barely 90 days. So how does one of the world's most important zinc mines survive on a shipping season shorter than a single American summer? And how did anyone find it out here in the first place? A rusty creek spotted from the air. In the late 1960s, a bush pilot named Bob Baker was flying over the DeLong Mountains, doing what bush pilots in Alaska did constantly, scanning empty terrain for anything unusual. He noticed a creek running an odd rust color, distinct from the gray-green tundra around it. He mentioned it. The creek eventually took his name, Red Dog Creek, after his dog. The U.S. Geological Survey followed up, and their samples came back showing something remarkable. Abundant barite, black chert, iron oxide staining consistent with a major sulfide deposit hiding underneath. A decade of quiet exploration followed. By 1980, the mining company that would become Teck Resources had begun serious drilling. What they eventually confirmed was almost unbelievable for a zinc deposit. Ore grading 17.1% zinc, 5% lead, and 2.5 ounces of silver per ton, spread across more than 85 million tons of rock. Most zinc mines in the world consider anything above 5% a good grade. Red Dog wasn't close to average. It was one of the richest base metal deposits ever discovered on the planet. A seafloor from 338 million years ago. The reason this remote stretch of the Brooks Range holds so much zinc goes back roughly 338 million years, to the Mississippian period, long before anything resembling a mountain range existed here. This region was once part of an ancient seafloor, sitting beneath a shallow ocean. On that seafloor, hydrothermal vents, similar to the black smokers scientists still find on modern ocean floors today, pushed metal-rich fluid up through cracks in the crust. As that scalding, mineral-saturated water hit the cold seawater above it, zinc, lead, and silver precipitated out almost instantly, settling into layers of fine-grained mud and sediment accumulating on the seafloor. Geologists call deposits formed this way sediment. Hosted massive sulfide deposits, or SEDEX deposits for short. Over the following hundreds of millions of years, tectonic collisions folded and lifted that ancient seafloor thousands of feet into the air, eventually building the very mountains Bob Baker was flying over the day he noticed a rust-colored stream running through them. The zinc had been there the entire time. It just took 338 million years, a mountain-building collision, and one observant pilot to finally bring it back within reach. A partnership before a mine. Confirming the ore was only the beginning. The land sitting on top of it belonged to NANA, a regional Alaska Native corporation owned by the Inupiat people of Northwest Alaska. In 1982, NANA and the mining company signed an agreement to jointly develop the deposit, a structure that gave the corporation an ownership stake and a say in how the project moved forward, rather than simply leasing land to an outside operator. In 1986, the state of Alaska agreed to help fund a shallow water port on the Chukchi Sea, along with a road connecting that port back to the mine site. Construction on the road, the port, and the mine itself began in 1987. The mine finally became operational in 1989, more than 2 decades after Bob Baker first noticed that rust-colored creek from his cockpit window. 90 days to move a year's worth of metal. Here's what makes Red Dog genuinely unusual among major mines anywhere in the world. The mine itself runs every single day of the year, extracting roughly 9,800 tons of ore daily and processing it into concentrate at an on-site mill. Trucks haul that concentrate 84 kilometers along a dedicated road, the DeLong Mountain Transportation System, down to the port on the Chukchi Sea, roughly 26 to 28 truckloads a day, 365 days a year, regardless of weather. But the ships that carry that concentrate to smelters overseas can't reach the port most of the year. Arctic sea ice locks the Chukchi Sea shut for roughly 9 months out of 12. The shipping season typically opens in early July and closes by early November, a window of about 90 days to move an entire year's worth of production out to the rest of the world. To bridge that gap, Red Dog built 2 of the largest buildings in the entire state of Alaska, concentrate storage buildings capable of holding nearly 1 million tons of material between shipping seasons. Essentially, a massive stockpile bought to survive 9 months of isolation every single year. Getting people there is its own operation. Moving metal isn't the only logistical challenge. Roughly 600 workers rotate through Red Dog on 4-week shifts, flown in and out on Boeing 737 aircraft, configured to carry both passengers and cargo, since there's no highway connecting the mine to anywhere else in Alaska. Around 56% of the workforce comes from NANA shareholders, Inupiat residents of the surrounding region, making Red Dog one of the largest sources of employment in a part of Alaska with very few other major job options. Every part of daily life at the mine, food, fuel, equipment, medical supplies, has to be planned around that same brutal seasonal rhythm, either flown in year-round or stockpiled during the short window when barges can actually reach the site. Why the world still needs this much zinc from one remote mountain range? Zinc isn't glamorous the way lithium or rare earths are, but it's essential. It galvanizes steel to stop it from rusting, and it's a critical ingredient in batteries, brass, and countless industrial alloys. Red Dog alone supplies roughly 5% of total global zinc production, an enormous share for one mine operating this far from any major population center. Current estimates suggest the main deposit will begin running toward depletion sometime around 2031, which is why exploration crews continue drilling nearby extensions with names like Anarak, searching for the next pocket of the same ancient seafloor that made the original discovery possible. So the tundra above Red Dog Creek still looks almost exactly like it did the day Bob Baker flew over it. No trees, no permanent settlement for miles, just gravel, wind, and a road built specifically to survive conditions most infrastructure on Earth was never designed for. Every year, the mine repeats the same cycle: extract constantly, stockpile patiently, then race against a closing window of open water before the ice comes back and seals the whole operation off from the rest of the planet for another 9 months. A rich deposit, sitting inside one of the harshest logistical puzzles in modern mining. Still turning up 5% of the world's zinc, from underneath a rusty Arctic creek most people will never have a reason to hear about. Running on a clock the ocean sets, not the other way around. If you want to see more of this, please like and subscribe.